The book that I'm going to share with you today is titled That's Not Fair, Emma Tenayuka's Struggle for Justice. It is written by Carmen Tafoya and Cheryl Tenayuka and illustrated by Terry Yibanez. The title of this bilingual biography echoes the theme of the life of a legendary Mexican-American activist in Texas during the 1920s and 1930s. The story moves from Tenayuka's childhood introduction to the poverty and unfair treatment of Mexican Americans living in her hometown of San Antonio to her increasing awareness of the injustice they suffered and ultimate fight for their civil rights. I am now going to read an excerpt from the story. On Sunday afternoon, Emma went with her grandpa to the park. The air was crisp and cool. The sun was shining. Wonderful smells of roasted corn and freshly made tamales filled the plaza. People laughed and played music. Grandpa's large, warm hand was holding hers, and Emma felt happy. But in one corner of the park, people were quiet, listening to a man speak. By his side, his wife held a baby, and by her side were 6 children lined up like stair-steps. Emma looked at their clothing, thin and torn, and at their beautiful brown skin, deepened in color by the sun. "How will I feed my family?" the father asked. "We worked all summer picking crops, but when it came time to get our pay, the farmer chased us away with a gun. Now we have no food and no place to stay." Grandpa saw a flash of lightning in Emma's eyes as she whispered, "But that's not fair, Grandpa." That night, Grandpa poured a cup of frothy hot chocolate for Emma. Then Grandpa held her in his arms. Emma told him about the cold baby, about the hungry little boys, and why Maria couldn't read. Her words tumbled out as if they had been shut inside her. "It's not fair," she sobbed. Grandpa listened, and her words touched the depths of his heart. The illustrations nicely complement the themes of the story, the rights of Mexican-American laborers and pecan shellers, and reinforce Emma's bold agency throughout. The illustrations subtly show images of trees and pecans, reminding readers of the issues at hand. This story, though inspired by real events, reads as a picture book with bright, kid-friendly illustrations. In contrast, the last page of the book provides non-fiction historical information about Tenayuka as well as black and white photos of her in the midst of the civic engagement. There are 3 criteria that make this text culturally relevant and authentic. 1. Portray cultural accuracy and authenticity of characters, insiders as authors of literature. 2. Invite reflection, critical analysis, and response. And 3. Include members of a minority group for a purpose other than filling a quota. This story is geared more towards the older grades, so I chose a 3rd grade standard. Engage effectively in a range of collaborative discussions, one-on-one, in groups, and teacher-led, with diverse partners on grade 3 topics and texts, building on others' ideas and expressing their own clearly. The objective that I wrote is students will experience the effects of unequal resources on student achievement, share their thoughts about educational disparities, and take action to bring about change collaboratively in small groups. In order to help the students make connections, I would provide students with a brief history of the pecan sheller strike along with related labor rights and injustice issues that the Mexican Americans faced in the 1920s and 1930s. The book offers students another valuable lesson through the relationship Emma shares with her grandfather. When Emma speaks with him about the horrible injustices that she witnesses, he tells her, "Sometimes things are not fair, but still, each one of us can usually do something about it, even if it's just a little thing." This is an important message for young readers who may be struggling with a growing awareness of hardship and injustice. You can always help, even if it is just a little bit. To practice these skills, half of the class will get cardstock, a good box of crayons, and quality scissors, and the other half of class will get notebook paper, poor quality scissors, and 1 crayon. The students will cut out and color people shapes to create realistic me paper dolls. The students will then do a think, pair, share, and respond to the different questions. The teacher will then facilitate a discussion about the ways inequality of resources affects student achievement. The students will work in small groups to decide what actions can be taken to make education fair and equal for all students. They will choose 1 or 2 of their ideas to develop into a plan of action. They will research and write a report about the plan of action and how they would facilitate the plan and present their projects to the class. I encourage you to check out this book.